Welcome to my channel, The World of Science Fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. The Omen sailed through deep space, silent, ghost-like, a shadow between stars. No alarms, no immediate threats. Just a crew floating on the edge of a storm that had already broken and another that loomed unseen. Jason sat upright in the medbay now, dressed in a black undersuit, bandages across his ribs and a distant look in his eyes. The glow from the Voidborn shard had faded, but its presence, its weight, lingered in him like a second heartbeat. Seyna leaned against the frame of the door, arms crossed.
You should be resting.
Jason looked up, smirking faintly.
Can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see every version of myself that didn't make it.
You're not them, you're still here.
Yeah, for now.
On the bridge, Naomi sat at the console, sifting through the new data that had unraveled from the Echo node since the tomb's awakening. Each byte revealed more maps to forgotten systems, logs of erased battles, truths the Union had buried in glass and time. Alex paced behind her.
So, the big evil is sealed, Jason's now carrying the galactic equivalent of a demon seed, and the Union still has a bounty on us. What now?
Mark spun lazily in the co-pilot's chair.
Maybe we become space pirates, open a noodle shop, I've got ideas.
Naomi ignored him.
The data's not just memories, it's a warning.
Seyna stepped onto the bridge.
What kind of warnings?
Naomi turned to her, eyes dark.
There are survivors.
Jason followed, his expression tightening.
Survivors of what?
Naomi tapped a key and brought up a massive star chart. Systems blinked red, some pulsed blue, but others gold.
Survivors of the First War, refugees, outposts. Even a few Orc enclaves that never reintegrated. They've been hiding in dead sectors, using cloaking fields older than anything we've seen. And now that the seal's weakened.
Alex finished her sentence grimly.
They're surfacing.
Seyna leaned in, her voice low.
And if they've been hidden this long, they may not be allies.
Jason stared at the chart. Each blinking system was a risk, a piece of the war that never ended.
Then we find them, we talk, or we fight, but no more hiding.
The Omen adjusted course. A new destination locked. Whatever was coming next, Jason wouldn't face it alone, and this time the galaxy would remember. The Omen cut through space with precision, its cloaked exterior gliding between gravitational rifts and electromagnetic noise. The destination, Vael'Zorith Prime, one of the gold-marked systems from the new Echo map, long thought to be obliterated during the First War. Jason stood on the bridge, hands resting on the back of the pilot chair.
We don't know what's waiting for us there. We need to assume hostility until proven otherwise.
Alex didn't look up from her console.
Remind me to never let you near customer service lines.
Naomi's hands were still poised over the console, her brow furrowed.
They didn't fire, they could've, should've, but they didn't.
Seyna stood near the viewport, arms folded.
My ancestors spoke of Vael'Zorith like a cursed wound. It was one of the last Orc strongholds to fall before the sealing of the first, if it survived.
Then the people there didn't choose to be forgotten. They were left behind.
Mark tapped the screen with a stylus, highlighting the approaching system.
And if I were someone abandoned in a centuries-old war, I'd be cranky too.
As they neared orbit, the system came into view. Vael'Zorith Prime was dark, cratered, fractured in places, as though it had been torn apart and stitched back together with stubborn willpower. But the strange part was the energy signature. Not chaotic, not dead, just stable, controlled. Naomi raised her eyebrows.
Someone's been maintaining this place. For centuries.
Alex narrowed her eyes.
I don't like it, it's too quiet.
Jason straightened.
Prepare for descent. Keep the ship cloaked. Naomi, set it to auto-suspend 2 clicks above surface and hold position unless we're under attack.
Seyna turned to him.
You intend to walk in unarmed?
Jason shrugged.
Depends on what you mean by armed.
Jason shrugged.
Depends on what you mean by armed.
He tapped his chest where the shard still pulsed faintly beneath his skin. Mark grinned.
Worst case, you glow and explode right.
Worst case, I start glowing and don't stop.
They took the transport pod down in silence, passing through the fractured atmosphere and into the eye of a swirling aurora of golden light. Beneath them, the ruins of a city built into the cliffs of a canyon, tall towers of stone fused with steel, all pulsing with low Orc energy. Jason stared.
They survived.
Naomi's voice came through his earpiece.
Correction, they adapted.
And then the pod shook. A bolt of golden energy lanced up from the city, not a weapon but a tether. It latched onto the pod and pulled them in like a handshake too strong to escape. Seyna's eyes narrowed.
We've been summoned.
Jason whispered.
Let's hope it's not for a funeral.
The transport pod landed with a soft thud, guided by the golden tether onto a wide, elevated platform carved from obsidian-gray stone and orc alloys. As the hatch opened, the air was warm, thick with electricity and age. Jason stepped out first, followed closely by Seyna, Alex, and Mark. Above them, towering statues of orc warriors stood like eternal sentinels, their eyes inlaid with faded blue stones. Alex scanned the plaza.
I'm not seeing any signs of an ambush.
Mark looked up at the statues.
That doesn't mean we're not being watched.
Seyna placed a hand on one of the old stone pillars.
These are warriors of the Zorethian Guard, elite orc champions. Their legacy was supposed to have ended centuries ago.
Jason turned to her.
Then someone kept it alive.
A low rumble echoed from beyond the statues. A massive set of doors, 20 feet tall and etched in spiraling script, opened with a hiss of escaping pressure. From within stepped a figure. Tall, broad-shouldered, robed in layered armor inscribed with faded battle seals. His skin was deep indigo, darker than any orc Jason had seen, and his eyes glowed with a dim violet light.
You bear the mark, you carry the echo of Jaris.
Who you are?
The orc placed a hand to his chest.
I am Garun, warden of Zereth, guardian of the last flame.
Seyna stepped forward beside Jason, bowing her head slightly.
You are a myth.
As are you, Seyna of Vael'Zorith. The blood of the warlords still flows.
Alex muttered under her breath.
Is everyone in this galaxy a walking legend except us?
Jason addressed Garun directly.
We came looking for allies and for answers.
Garun's gaze turned hard.
You came with the shard, the seal, the storm inside you. It is not just answers you bring, it is consequence.
Jason held his ground. Then help us understand what's next. Garun turned and motioned them forward.
Come, the council will see you, but know this, what you choose in the hours to come may not be yours to unchoose.
Jason followed him into the temple beyond the statues. And for the first time in weeks, he felt like the future wasn't just catching up to them, it was waiting. The interior of the Temple of Zurith was a blend of stark utility and sacred design. Slanted orc pillars, ancient glyphs glowing softly beneath the stone, and a circular chamber filled with whispering echoes that weren't voices so much as memories. Jason walked slowly, his boots echoing against the polished floor. Seyna walked beside him, scanning every symbol on the walls.
These are battle records, but not of victories, of losses.
Garun led them to the chamber's heart where 5 figures waited, the Zorethian Council, each seated atop a floating obsidian platform. None of them wore helmets. Their faces were scarred, dignified, but not cruel. Garun addressed them with a warrior's formality.
Counselors, I bring before you Jason Armitage, carrier of the Echo and the seal of the First.
One of the elders, a woman with a single cybernetic eye, spoke.
You have awakened a legacy buried by fear. You are hunted by the Union and shadowed by the Voidborn. Why have you come here, Flamebearer?
Jason stood tall.
Because the Union won't protect the galaxy from what's coming. And because the Orcs are the only ones who remember what the galaxy has tried to forget.
Another counselor, a pale-skinned orc with glowing implants fused across his chest, growled.
And yet you come here wielding the very shard that tore reality. You bring the whisper of the First to our sanctuary.
Yes, and I'm not hiding it. I came here to learn if you're still warriors or just ghosts with long memories.
A hush fell across the room, even Alex and Mark tensed. Seyna looked over, her face unreadable. Garun stepped forward, gaze fixed on the council.
He speaks with fire, like Jaris once did. The seal inside him is stable. The First does not control him.
The Cyberite counselor leaned forward.
And if that changes?
Jason answered simply.
Then I expect you to end me.
There was silence. Then one by one the counselors nodded. The eldest among them, his skin patterned with ceremonial scars, stood.
Then the Orcs of Zurith will stand, not as relics, as allies.
Jason exhaled just once, a small victory. But the next moment the chamber lights dimmed. A low hum rippled through the floor. Naomi's voice burst through Jason's calm.
Jason, you need to see this. Something's coming, not from orbit, from below.
Jason's pulse kicked into overdrive. Naomi's reply was taut with dread.
A buried structure. Something's waking up beneath the city, something old and angry.
Alarms echoed through the temple of Zurith. Low, droning tones, not from modern systems but ancient ones, woven into the foundations like veins of sound meant to wake the dead. Jason's comm buzzed again.
Jason, it's big. Whatever's down there, it's not buried anymore. The energy readings match Voidborn signatures, but it's not like the first. It's splintered.
Garun turned to the council, his expression cold.
We must evacuate the lower tiers, activate the Flamebond Guard.
Jason looked at Seyna.
You ever hear of something buried under Zurith?
No, but if it's Voidborn, then it wasn't Orcks who buried it.
Alex slammed a power cell into her rifle.
You thinking what I'm thinking.
The Union left a surprise, or worse, they forgot one.
The floor beneath them rumbled. From outside the temple walls came the sound of stone cracking and metal shrieking. Jason sprinted to the outer balcony, the others behind him. Below, the canyon floor had split open. A massive structure was rising from beneath the city, half machine, half organic, covered in obsidian plating and laced with golden veins of corrupted energy. A tower-like appendage extended skyward, pulsating with sickly light. Naomi's voice cut in.
Jason, it's broadcasting, not to us, to something in deep space.
Jason's blood went cold. A beacon. Mark stepped up beside him, eyes wide.
Great, so instead of a noodle shop, we're now ground zero for the apocalypse.
Garun joined them, gripping a massive staff with both hands.
This was a fail-safe, an old piece of the war locked beneath our bones. If it awakens, the first won't stay sealed.
Jason turned to Naomi.
Can you jam it?
Not for long, but I can slow it.
Jason looked to Seyna, then Alex and Mark.
We have to get down there, shut it down before it finishes whatever it started.
Alex grinned.
You mean blow it up?
You've been hanging out with Mark too long.
Seyna drew her blade, the edge glowing with blue flame.
Let's finish this.
And as the tower rose, a massive shape unfurled at its base. A creature, ancient and broken, reassembling itself with twitching limbs and a skull carved with Union insignia.